What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we are on the test server here, and we will be talking about one of the brand new champions that will be coming with the Fusion update, guys. The difference is with this champion, this is going to be the one that is going to be the easiest to get for everybody, and it's going to be the epic Stonebound Thisbe. So this champion here, I really like as an epic. I think her kit is very, very solid. I'm going to bring her out into some content, and I'm going to gear her out in a more reasonable build with more reasonable champions just to show you guys how good of a support she can be. Now, she is going to be the epic that fuses into the upcoming hybrid fusion Mavara. You need to collect the fragments for 4 of these Stonebound Thisbes, and then afterward, summon the Stonebound Thisbes from the portal and then build them up to 50s and then fuse all 4 of the Thisbes together to into Mavara during the Mavara fusion. Now, if you guys don't have the resources to get basically all 4 of these Stonebounds, then you guys maybe can consider getting 1 or multiple copies of them because, like I said, she is really, really solid. So if you guys don't know her kit, let's go over her kit here real quick. Her base stats, not too impressive, to be honest. Average speed at about 100. Base stats are okay only. She is a support champion. You really want to see more HP, more defense, more speed. But let's check out her kit here. I think it's very, very solid. A1, 50% chance of landing decreased attack on a single hit. Also has a chance, also steals 10% of the target's turn meter. All of this requires accuracy. Her A2 on a 3-turn cooldown, 100% chance of landing hex and block buffs. Very good ability for Hydra specifically, obviously. But block buffs is going to be very good everywhere. And hex will give you more damage across the entire enemy wave that you land all the hexes on. And then her A3, 3-turn cooldown, and she's going to decrease the duration of all ally debuffs. This is basically like a very, very soft cleanse almost, but there is value with this. She also will heal all allies by 15% of their max HP. Not a crazy heal or anything like that, but still a heal. And she gives a nice 20% turn meter boost for everybody. This is on a 3-turn cooldown, very, very solid. And her passive is just really nice. Allies deal 10% more damage to enemies under debuffs placed by this champion. That's it. As long as she lands a debuff and they have a debuff placed by her, then your team will deal 10% more damage. She does bring accuracy in all battles by 40. Not significantly huge, but not bad. So her kit looks very simple, but I think it's very, very effective and works really great as a, progression type of support champion. So I'm going to show you guys the build I got her in, and then we're going to bring her in some content just to show off what she can do. So let's hop into it. So we're going to jump into the Soulbound that I built. Let's see here. So right here, this is the Soulbound that I got. As an end game, or not end game, as a more later game option, building her in 9-piece Pharaoh would be a good shout because you get 3 debuffs. So that's going to increase your damage by additional 15%. So you get 15% damage from 9-piece Pharaoh, and then you get an additional 10% from her passive. That's going to be a good shout. Now, at Argonites, brand new faction and all that, we're not going to have very good, accessories and all that. So I didn't have a 9-piece Pharaoh. And I don't expect most people to have 9-piece Pharaoh at this juncture in time. So I built her a little bit more reasonable. I built her in a couple of epic relentless pieces, focusing mainly on speed, accuracy, and survivability. That's basically all you need. Her total base stats on my account right now, 68k HP, about 3k defense, 250 speed, 316 accuracy. 316 accuracy is going to take you to about upper mid hard Doom Tower. If you're going to do more, top of Doom Tower, you might need like about 350, 400 accuracy or somewhere around there. 250 speed, you probably need for basically all content in the game, PvE wise. We don't have a blessing on her right now. We're just going to run her straight out of the box. We did put a small relic on her. I think this Journal of Necrosis works really well on her. Heals and turn meter boost are 15% more effective. So, that's perfect. She has heals and turn meter boost, so it's going to be great. We put a rare gem in here, so she's going to get a little bit more effectiveness from turn meter boost. So that works really good. In terms of blessings, you could definitely take something like cruelty just to give your team a little bit more damage. Obviously this reduces the enemy's defense, so it gives your team a little bit more damage output. But a 1-star on her would be perfectly fine. You get some more HP for some survivability. For the masteries, there's a couple ways you can go for this. For masteries, you can definitely focus on her healing ability. which is, totally fine. You can go down this way. I focused a little bit more on her debuffs. So I wanted the Master Hexer and I wanted the Sniper here to increase her chances of landing her decreased attack on her A1. A lot of the times, the decreased attack is very, very important, especially if she's the only one against some types of bosses. So if you're running her against Clan Boss, for example, Sniper definitely goes up in value. Now we did go for Arcane Celerity, so whenever debuffs cast by her fall off, you're gonna get some more turn meter. She lands a bunch of debuffs on her kit already, which is really good. Cycle of Magic, so she can get more turn meter boost, more healing and stuff. We did go down to War Master here, so that she can get some additional damage output. The big thing with damage with War Master is that it will give her a bit of healing from Life Drinker. So if she dips low, the War Master can help her heal up. 15% heal on her A3 is okay. It's not super significant, and she doesn't really bring any kind of other defensive buff or anything like that to help her survive. Generally, her survivability is not going to be super, super awesome. So I did focus a little bit on the healing side for the War Master and the Life Drinker. Now, if you pair her with some kind of crowd control champion, that'll be really nice. We do have Relentless on her so that she has more options to cycle back to her key abilities a little bit. Honestly, you don't even need Relentless on her. You can put her in just random gear and she would perform very fine. So I'm going to put her on a more reasonable team with more reasonable gear, and then we're going to run through some content here. So we're going to take her into Dragon. Now, Dragon 6 is a very common place to farm, as you're progressing through the game kind of thing. So I'm going to put her in this team here, and I think it's a little bit more reasonable. We have Ezio, which was the free champion from a couple months ago. He could generally be any damage dealer at this point. He does have the 5-star Brimstone, which really helps against the Dragon. We have a max HP damage dealer here with Husk. I like Husk because he does bring some crowd control with the stuns and provokes. And of course, max HP is going to be pretty good against the boss. Venom Mage, he's just going to be good for poison. Does synergize well with Ezio. But honestly, if you're going into hard dragon, you really need to bring a poisoner. So, Venom Mage is a, easy epic champion to bring in. And then we have the Fat Man here. Fat Man brings decreased defense, a bit of poisons, a bit of offense, but he can be definitely replaceable for a support champion, a reviver, or anything like that. And then we have Thisbe here, and she's going to be basically the only support champion here for this group. I really wanted to showcase her support abilities, so wanted her to be the only one. So we can watch this a little bit here. But yeah, a group of basically epics and Ezio. Like I said, Ezio could be anybody, but Ezio is going to perform, decently well against the dragon because he does have poisons, which is great. If you have a Narma from the code, free promo code or whatever, then you can bring Narma. If you have Xenomorph, you can bring Xenomorph too. Those are great champions, especially against the dragon and all that. You can watch this team go to work, and I'll show you guys the gear and stats afterwards. And then, I'm not trying to trick you guys with like crazy stats or anything like that. I think the stats are pretty reasonable and the builds are pretty reasonable and stuff. So, yeah, but this team works pretty well. Dragon is, the easiest or one of the easiest hard dungeons, mainly because it's a little bit more flexible. You bring poisons. Poisons don't need insanely geared. You don't need crazy gear on your champions to be effective poison users. And yeah, the dragon really dies really quickly to poison. So you can kind of see this be here with the turn meter boost and the heal. Really, really nice here. And then of course the block buffs actually works well because you block the plus attack from the dragon. And then of course the decreased attack from the A1 is also very, very solid. There's the heal and the turn meter boost, very nice. And then of course the soft cleanse, guys. Don't forget the soft cleanse. You can get rid of some of those nasty, nasty debuffs. There we go. Heal again. And then we got Relentless proc, which is really nice. There we go. Ezio doing the big damage. But again, he could be, a lot of different damage dealers at this point. Hey, a 90-second Dragon 6 with a bunch of epics. Yes, they're +4, but don't worry, their stats are not as jaw-dropping. I'll show you guys the gear at the very end. Let's see what else this team can do. Let's hop over to Ice Golem here. Now, Ice Golem is a bit different because you can't really do Ice Golem hard with the same team, like with Poisoners and stuff like that. So let's hop into 25. 25, unfortunately, is Magic Affinity. Magic Affinity is going to give us a harder time. So perhaps we jump into 24 and just fight the Spirit Affinity. Now, generally, I like to farm stage 24 in these normal dungeons because they give you more 6-star quality loot. give you more points for events and stuff. So definitely focus on 24 instead of 25, unless you're like strictly going for like CVC points or stuff like that. Let me change out this team here real quick. All right, let's jump into it and see how well we can do. We do have, Husk as a weak affinity here. All right, so far doing okay. Block buff's going to be pretty nice here. Cleared out this wave pretty nicely. There we go. And yeah, definitely block buff's very good here because of the reflect damage. But generally, block buffs is pretty nuts in most content in this game, to be honest. Let's see here. All right, almost there. Almost there. Not too bad. Again, Ezio could be any kind of wave clear. Poisons work pretty well against Ice Golem on normal mode. So this team should perform pretty well here on 24. As long as the Husk doesn't trigger the boss here. Oh, we might trigger the boss. Go, lighting some poisons. Venom Mage. Really crazy champion. Oof, still a pretty big hit there from the boss. Gotta be careful. The slams could definitely kill us. A little bit of healing there, super nice. Poison activation, very nice. All right, didn't trigger anything yet. Luckily, no, boom. All right, we survived that, so not too bad. One more activation from Ezio, I think we got it. And nope, hidden gun. Almost there. What is this, 2-minute run? Say 2-minute run, not too bad for this. Attack. Oh no. Ooh, big hit. Do we survive this? I think we got it. Poison's got him. There we go. All right, not too bad. I mean, we have to survive that big hit, but this team should perform super well on normal Ice Golem as well. Now, against the other dungeons, you need more specialized teams, so it's not going to work out super well here. All right, and just for fun, we're going to slot her into this Hydra squad in Nightmare difficulty. Her stats should be enough to play a role or a solid support role in Nightmare difficulty, about 260 speed with just a bit shy of 300 accuracy. We'll play this out a little bit here. We're running 3 damage dealers, just so that we emphasize that she is mainly a very good support. So we're not going to give her too much support here. We have Sulfurion as a reviver, and then we do have Lydia here for decreased defense and weaken. Unfortunately, we have to deal with this fear stuff, so hopefully we get rid of that quickly. Does Lydia have gear on? All right, sorry about that. Lydia does indeed have gear on. So let's see how well she performs. She is feared right now. She is in the bottom left-hand corner here. She's going to be turn meter boosting, healing, and then she will be providing the block buffs, which is very important. And she's going to be providing the Hex, which is very important as well, because Hex allows more damage to happen to all the heads. So if you're struggling in Hydra, or if you need somebody to help you out in Hydra, I think she's definitely going to have a place here because of this block buff ability and Hex. They both work extremely well against Hydra. You definitely want both those debuffs in your Hydra team just to increase your consistency and damage output. So they look pretty good. And yeah, she's not going to be flashy or anything like that. She's just keeping the team chugging along here, right? Let's see. We'll just watch this for a couple more turns here. Watch her in action a little bit. She's a little bit on the slow side for this. I would like, usually my support's about 300 speed. She is in Relentless, so she's going to get some extra turns here and there. If you have something like the Perch Shadow could be actually pretty good on her as well, just so she can get back more of her key abilities. There's her turn meter boost with the heal. Very, very nice. Unfortunately, no block buff there, but we do have Sulfurion here for the HP burn that bypasses the cloud. But yeah, make sure she's fast enough to land that HP burn, or sorry, that block buff. That's for sure. Definitely necessary. There's the block buff. A little bit slow on that, so she can definitely go for some more speed for Nightmare difficulty. But yeah, I mean, without her, you got to bring somebody else with the block buffs, and you definitely got to bring somebody else for the hex, just so you can get more damage output. But you know, as a one-stop shop on one champion, she's got it right. You could definitely use a curse set on a champion as well. You know, that can bring the hex, but then you still got to bring block buffs. So if you're short on a block buff champion, she can definitely work out for you there. Let's duck out of this. Let's end the battle and just check out the sheet here a little bit. She does have War Master, so she's going to pitch in a little bit of damage. You see here, she's actually doing 6 mil. She's also doing the damage from the Hex, so the Hex is contributing a lot. Nobody else on this squad has Hex, so she's soaking it all up. Damage-wise, I mean, Harima, Taras, and then Marius all doing the heavy lifting. But I just wanted to show that she is capable of kind of quarterbacking a Hydra team, right? And she's kind of doing it pretty much by herself. I mean, Sophia obviously is huge with the big shields and the Terminator boost as well, but she does bring heal, Terminator boost, and then the debuffs, which are very relevant. Anyways, guys, I promised I would show off some of the gear from the previous more budget progression type of team. So I got Ezio here. You can kind of see we're just gearing up with whatever. He does have surplus accuracy. 400 is a bit overkill. 300 is enough. He's a little bit on the slow side. 230 speed. 6.4k attack with a 5-star blessing. I mean, I think it's very reasonable. He's not crit capped because I don't have perfect gear, for example. And I have 223 crit damage. Now I'm running the Arachnid Elixir, which boosts our poison damage, which is great, which is, you know, a rare relic. And I'm running Brimstone for the PvE content. And then for the masteries, this is not ideal, Helm Smasher, I think, because our gear is just not very good to take advantage of it. Personally speaking, I think with this kind of build, I would just run War Master and then just call it a day. Focus on attack, focus on speed, accuracy, and then your Ezio will do fine. We do have our Venomage. Again, random gear here, guys. Total speed, under 250 speed, so not ideal. Decent survivability stats. For some reason, we have crazy crit damage on her, and we have overkill accuracy. But she is a +4 champion. I tried to take away some stats. Definitely could have ran with maybe some less gear or whatever just to bring the stats down, but this is very good as is. And we were doing Dragon 6 without any issues. This is my fat man here. He was overkill on stats, so I brought him down a little bit. 300 speed, you know, could be a little bit crazy for some people, but it's definitely not too bad, especially if you're tackling like upper levels of hard dungeons. 300 accuracy with crit cap, you don't need to be. And that's about it. Not great stats. Otherwise, we do run a relentless set on him. You know, it is what it is. Try to patch together some relentless gear, relics. We got Phantom Touch, and then we got War Master for the tier 6. I mean, he is going to be a +4 champion, so he's going to get some extra stats. But I think these stats are generally reasonable, especially if you're tackling hard dungeons already, or nightmare difficulty, for example. Husk. Now, Husk, I do have him in a pretty specific build that's pretty good, just under 300 accuracy. This build could probably take on nightmare difficulty for Hydra. So hard dungeons is not too difficult for this build. He is in a reflex build, so you're gonna get some more. You're gonna get some more A2s. You definitely don't need a reflex build. You can just build him in whatever gear, but this is a pretty decent build for him. And is a bit of an overkill build for what we were using it for Dragon 6. No relic, cruelty blessing, so he's not pumping hard. He's +2. He's got War Master on, but he's doing pretty good in terms of this build looking solid. It's a little bit on the slow side, but he's looking solid. And then of course, lastly, we got our Stonebound Thisbe here. Relentless gear, not overwhelming stats, but decent build, right? And then we got the Journal of Necrosis, which is a very basic relic. If you have the Perch Shadow for the extra turn Raven, if you have the Raven, I think it would be pretty good for her as well. Another good one would actually be the Elixir. If you have the Elixir, it'd be pretty good as well, just because it'll give her some healing, survivability, make her a little bit more durable. Her base stat's not great, so making her a little bit more durable is obviously very good. And then blessing wise, like I said, cruelty would probably be the best for her. She's an epic. And then War Master here. War Master is going to help with a little bit of healing from the Soul Drinker, and she's going to pitch in some extra damage as well. Alternatively, you could go down masteries, go down for the healing. But you could probably have to swing back to the right hand side to pick up Master Hexer here. But either way, definitely works out pretty good. Anyways, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick little showcase here on Stonebound Thisbe. She is going to be the Fusion Epic. That's part of the Mavara Fusion. If you guys are unable to finish the Mavara Fusion, I think definitely consider picking up a copy of Stonebound Thisbe. I think she's going to be great. I mean, she's going to be one of the champions you're going to bring to the Argonite faction for Faction Wars. And I think she's going to be solid if you have an extra copy of her. So if you can't get Mavara, I see no reason not to at least pick up one copy of Stonebound here, as she's very, very reasonable, very solid champion. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about Stonebound here. Let me know if you guys see another use case for her. I think her kit's pretty self-explanatory, pretty generic, but it works very well together. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. It would really help me out. Thanks so much for watching until the end. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.